Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live from Los Angeles, this Christmas edition. Hope you had a wonderful day unboxing all of the things that you really wanted for this holiday as we get ready to wrap up 2022. And the box office on Christmas was a bunch of coal for Paramount after the year they had, right? Paramount had one of the best years of any studio that we have ever seen. You go all the way back to the beginning of the year and you start with Jackass Forever and then Sonic 2. You had The Lost City in there, obviously Top Gun Maverick. And you keep going on, and Paramount just had a superb 2022. And then we get to Babylon. Yeah. So about Babylon, you guys know, not a fan of the movie, okay? I'm going to be absolutely out in front of that and own that. But objectively, this is a massive bomb for Paramount. Let's get to it. Let's look at the numbers. Look at this. If you haven't seen, here it is. 3.5 million opening for the 3-day weekend, going back to Friday, including Thursday night, by the way. Look at that average, $1,046. Oh my God. I mean, this is one of the biggest bombs of 2022. And there's a lot of reasons why this thing did not work. And we're going to get into those because this is my kind of stream. Because you know I'm not a fan of the film. And, you know, in a way, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of happy it didn't do well because it tells me that a lot of people out there have taste. This is a terrible film. Babylon is a dumpster fire with 2 very good scenes. But the other 2 hours and 45 minutes are borderline unwatchable. One of the most tonally zigzag, insane films you'll ever come across. I mean, it's almost manic in its inability to stay on a certain tone, and it is easily Damien Chazelle's worst film. I mean, that's not even up for debate, guys. There's no debate to that. We will debate some things here on MMT. We will not debate that. Here's how bad Babylon was. Okay, so you see this here, 1,000 per screen. Let's go back to Amsterdam. Remember that bomb from way back in October? It feel like we were talking about Amsterdam, I feel like back in July, but it was October, only 2.5 months ago. So look at this opening, 6.4 million, and the average is 2,144. So it's double. So Babylon did half the business that Amsterdam did, and we savaged Amsterdam, right? And look, Amsterdam did better at 6.4. It did double the money that Babylon did. So here's the question. And you come in with the comments, and I'm going to tell you why it bombed. It's very simple. The movie's terrible, and people know that. There's no buzz for this film, which we knew when I came out of this over a month and a half ago. That first reaction, let me pull that up, because that was just something that night when I came out of this film and was like, this is really odious. Here it is. This was the tweet sent back on November 14th. So what is that? 5 weeks ago. I have some really, really bad news to share with you. Babylon's a flaming hot mess, a tonal disaster, easily Damien Chazelle's worst film and one of the worst films of 2022. So there it is. This kind of thing here, let me pull it up. This kind of thing doesn't help, okay? So what happens when tweets like this go out, and it was, first reaction, I walked out of this thing and said, I'm going to absolutely nuke Babylon because you just wasted 3 hours of my time, Damien Chazelle. I went from fan to I don't know about your next film. Like, if I'm a studio right now, there is no way that I am handing Chazelle an open checkbook and saying, write whatever you want here. $80 million for this movie, too. $80 million for this bomb. This is going to set him back big time. There's no other way around it when your film bombs like Babylon is this weekend and will not recover from, okay? I love these people that are in here. I got a lot of tweets today. People saying, well, there was the snowstorm. like the snowstorm was going to have it open at 50 million without a snowstorm. Maybe it opens to 4.5 instead of 3.5, but it's still a bomb. It's just slightly less balmy, but there's no way around this. Chazelle's stock is down. I mean, it is like Disney stock at this point after Babylon. And, to all those defending Babylon, and I've said this before in about many films, there are certain films you have to be on the right side of history on. And Babylon is one you need to get right and call it a disaster. You cannot say this is a good film. I saw the tweet. Hold on, let me pull it up. This was an amazing tweet today. These people out there going, every Babylon person that hammers it, you're only making it a stronger film. No, actually, you know what's happening when you sit there and you tell me that Babylon's good? Let me pull it up. You know what you're telling me? You're telling me that you do not know how to evaluate films. It's that simple. You can't miss like this. It's like The Whale. The Whale's objectively atrocious. You can't miss on films like that. Here's Andrew. Look, funny to see people taking Babylon's underperformance as an indicator of its poor quality. Andrew, I got news for you. It is exactly that. It is 100% an indicator of its not just poor, but terrible quality. We just went through Tar, The Fabelmans, etc. People went to bat despite bombing. Because, first of all, Tar is 1,000 times the film that Babylon is. Hold on, I don't even have the tweet up. This is unbelievable. When I read these kind of tweets, I go, who, Andrew? Dude, you are, whatever you had credibility-wise when it comes to film is gone when you read a tweet like this. It's over. Right? Again, back to Mission Impossible 7 trailer. It's over. Because you just compared Tar. Granted, an underperforming film at the box office. But you can't say Tar and Babylon in the same sentence. Tar is not even comparable. Fabelmans is better, and I don't even like Fabelmans. But these people are out here. Hold on, there's another one. Let's get another one here. Here it is. This is the one from Bobby Wagner. Every negative Babylon review makes the Babylon lovers more powerful. No, Bobby, actually, it doesn't. It makes them right and you look stupid because the movie's terrible. And the thing is when people see the film, because the people will be, let's go check it out. Especially if you're a film Twitter person or you're a cinephile, you're going to go see the film and then you're going to come out and go, what the hell? Do you know how many people have come to me with retweets, quote tweets, everything on my review of that film from whenever I sent it out, like last week when I actually put a little bit longer thought to it. And people were just like, my God, this is it. This is exactly what the film is. Because that's the reaction you're going to have to the film. And these people that don't have that reaction, I don't know what to tell you, except your head is off. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. I know it's Christmas and we're supposed to be, kumbaya and all that. But man, Babylon's terrible, and I'm actually, like I said, I'm actually kind of happy tonight. I'm not going to lie. I mean, why I'm going to sit here and go, hey, by the way, welcome, Renee. Thank you for being a member. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not a little bit thrilled that the film bombed, because you don't want people to see films that are terrible. I don't even care. You just don't, because then what happens is they might never come back to the movie again. I mean, if I saw Babylon, and they said, hey, do you want to see another movie? No, I was actually burnt by Babylon, so I don't want to go back to a movie theater anytime soon. So it's like going to a restaurant, right? So if you go to a restaurant that just opened and the food isn't good, the service is bad, everything's just off, not because there was just something wrong with the kitchen that night, you're never going back to that restaurant. So when people go to see Babylon at the movie theater, there's a very good chance that they're going to be like that restaurant that gave you the crap meal. I'm not going back to a movie theater anytime soon. So seeing Babylon bomb is a positive, because now maybe people will come to see movies that are infinitely superior to Babylon. That's the spin. That's the spin you're looking for here tonight. Is none of this stuff. It has a lower score than critics. You guys ready? Here it is. Let's pull it up. This is the latest score on Rotten Tomatoes for Babylon, which has dropped precipitously throughout the entire weekend. It is now down to 54% audience score. 54. That is so horrible. You guys know that audience score is usually kinder. It's kind of like cinema score, right? A good cinema score. And by the way, cinema score for this film was a C+. That's bad. C+ is not a normal C+. It's a bad grade. But the audience score, 54. is lower than critics. I mean, finally, we have something that is accurate. Babylon is terrible. If you say it's good, there's no way around it. You are over, said in the Mission Impossible 7 voice. It's over for you. Why would Paramount give Chazelle 80 million plus for Babylon? It's not marketable and general audiences don't care. Dan, you hit me with this on Twitter and you brought it here like I asked you. Thank you. It's this simple. Studios want to work with directors that have a strong track record. And Damien Chazelle, up until Babylon, had that strong track record with Whiplash, La La Land, and then First Man, didn't do crazy numbers for Universal. Now, of course, they'd take that any day, what it did back in 2000. Was it 18 or 19? I think it was 18 for First Man. When you look at those numbers from then, you'd be like, that's a good go. But back then it was bad. The film that is going to wreck his career is this, Babylon. I mean, it's going to take something truly very close to a masterpiece to get Damien Chazelle back on track after this. It's that big of a drop-off from his first 3 films to Babylon, right? It's the line from Moneyball with Brad Pitt, and he's talking about the A's. I love this line. I always will use this line. He said, there's the Yankees, there's the Red Sox, there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us. That is Damien Chazelle's filmography. There is Whiplash. There is La La Land. First Man. 50 feet of crap. Make it 500 feet of crap. And then Babylon. That is how atrocious this film is. There is no way around it. And if you're defending it, go for it. Because it's very humorous. But it also means there's one less person anyone needs to talk to or listen to because you instantly are done. It's over. It's over. Simeon, I agree with you. Babylon was awful. I mean, it's 100%, and so does the audience, 54%. They 100% agree with you. I mean, it is. There's no way to... I told you guys this was not getting a Best Picture nom, right? I told you. Again, this is time. Hit the like button. I get my likes when I'm right, and I'm right a lot. I said to you that Babylon was not going to get a Best Picture nomination. Even though it has Critics' Choice, it's got Golden Globes, this is going to wreck it when people actually watch it. That I don't know where the, Damien Chazelle fanatics, anyone who is objective knows this is a terrible film. It does not get a Best Picture nomination. So yes, give me a like. Margot Robbie. Okay, so Margot Robbie was obviously in Amsterdam and in Babylon. 2 of the biggest bombs of 2022. So the question becomes this. I was going to ask this. Thank you for bringing it up, by the way, Wasim. Is Margot Robbie a bankable box office star? Because you look at her track record. You go back to Birds of Prey, underperformance, right? She's a movie star, but is she a bankable box office star? In fairness, there's not a lot of them anymore, right? Tom Cruise very clearly brought that title back to him. He carries it right now with Maverick and probably Mission Impossible 7 coming up next year. I think that's going to be a huge earner for Paramount. I mean, Tom Cruise and Paramount are just like money in the bank. But when you look at Margot Robbie and you look at her career box office wise, she has not had a massive hit. In fact, let me check that. I know that the numbers does a pretty good job with having that. Let's see, Margot Robbie box office. They probably have all the films and what it's done. Here it is. Yep, it's the numbers. Give me one sec. Okay, so let's pop it in here. Let's hit that. Okay, here it is. So here's Margot Robbie, and they have her as a supporting. They have her as a lead. They have all these things. Okay, so boom, there it is. Okay, so let's go down. She's best known as a leading actress based on credits in a role with 13 films with 1 billion worldwide in aggregate box office. Okay, let's go through quickly as an actor. Barbie, I think Barbie's going to be actually an overperformer. I think it is. So let's just leave that alone. Let's go this year. Babylon, working backward, bomb. Amsterdam, bomb. Suicide Squad, the second, obviously the remake was, okay, is during COVID. So, okay, Peter Rabbit 2 doesn't count. Dreamland doesn't count. Birds of Prey, there's the underperformer for sure. Even though it's at 201 million worldwide, that's not a good number. I mean, we thought Birds of Prey was going to do like 500 million or more, so that's not good. Bombshell, I love Bombshell, but not a huge hit. But again, we'll take those numbers now. We'll take those 2019 numbers of 61 million for a film like Bombshell. A film like Bombshell in this market right now would end up with, okay, so if we had Bombshell drop right now, if the Bombshell of Bombshell dropped right now, we'd be looking at like a $5 million opening, and it would probably end up with like 15. And look at this, it had 60. It's unfortunate, but the truth is this: we are in a different world when it comes to adult skewing titles at the box office. A Babylon's going to be in trouble right off the bat because it's adult skewing. But what makes it doubly bad is it's terrible, right? So that's the 1-2 knockout punch for Babylon. But you go back to Tar, underperformed. Fablemans, underperformed. Banshees of Inisherin, underperformed. These are all films that if you bring those back to 2019, before we had the COVID situation, then we are higher on all those by probably double or more. I mean, again, look at Bombshell, 61 million. That would never happen nowadays. But here's why. I can tell you why that's happening. Because now you have told the audience that if they just hang out for 17 days, whatever you want to watch will be on PVOD, premium video on demand, right? Or just regular video on demand. You can get that within 17 days, maybe 3 weeks, whatever. In the old days, you had the 90-day theatrical window, which is really long. Okay, I admit that's too long, but we should be at least at 45. I'd argue 60 on these films. If you put the old window back to 60, let's make it 60. All these films go up because people don't want to wait 2 months to watch a film. 2 weeks? It's easy. 2 months? Look at what happened with Maverick. They said 120 in studios. So that's 4 months. And look what happened with the film. At one point, is it at 1.8 billion? I mean, that doesn't happen if that's on Paramount Plus in 17 days, right? You guys know that. There's a like right there. I mean, it's just absolutely 100% truth. A true cathartic moment would be Luhrmann getting in over Chazelle for Best Director, since film Twitter proclaimed Babylon was going to be what Baz Luhrmann wishes he was. That's hilarious to me. Again, Renee, how wrong is film Twitter? How often? Like all the time. Some of the worst takes, literally every day. I spend less and less time on Twitter because my brain just starts to melt when I read some of these things. But when you look at Baz Luhrmann and Elvis, I mean, again, it is 100 times the film that Babylon is. Elvis, even with Tom Hanks, who is Razzie worthy, is 100 times the film that Babylon is. So there's no comparison there. And again, we don't have favorites. We don't go into a Damien Chazelle movie going, this is good because Damien Chazelle directed it. Why? Why do we do that? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't compute with me. You watch the film and you say it's terrible. And Babylon's terrible. No matter who directed it. It doesn't matter. First-time director, 10-time director, Damien Chazelle. It is atrocious. What movie takes Babylon's spot for Best Picture? Let's look right now, and we go to awardsace.com. And then feel free to hit me with Margot Robbie. Is she a star? I mean, we can talk about that too. Here we go. So this is what I have right now. I still have Babylon in, but that was before it opened. I got to update this. This is from Awards Ace. These are the films that are in for sure. Okay, let's go real quick. Fablemans, in for sure. Top Gun Maverick, in, no question. Banshees, in. Elvis, in. Everything Everywhere, in. Tar, in. It better be. If Tar's not in, just stop. I'm going to close up shop and stop talking about movies if Tar does not make the Best Picture roster this year. Avatar Way of Water, yeah, because it's such a weak year. It's not a great film. Women Talking, which opened this weekend, did not have a huge opening because, again, it's another one of these adult skewing awards films that is just not going to pop the box office like they used to. But Women Talking's a very, very strong film. Sarah Polley's direction, one of the best, by far better than Babylon. Babylon I still have in there, and She Said. Now, a lot of you are going to say She Said doesn't have Critics' Choice, doesn't have Golden Globes. Doesn't matter. It has Harvey Weinstein. It has the story of Hollywood. People will resonate with that, certainly with the guilds, with PGA, SAG. She Said is going to rebound. Glass Onion, I think. So I would take Babylon out. I would push Glass Onion up. All Quiet on the Western Front sitting there because it did very well in a lot of the tech stuff that came out the other day with those short lists. I think that it has a chance because it's one of the very highly viewed films on Netflix, and people love war films, so let's put it there. And then we go to RRR, maybe it gets in. So I'm going to drop Babylon. We'll push everything up. I say Babylon's outside looking in, Glass Onion gets in. Speaking of Glass Onion is now on the walls of MMT. Can you spot it? I'll pull it up big so you can see. Do you see Glass Onion? I see Daniel Craig and I see 5 stars. Do you see it right next to La La Land? I feel like, geez, I just tell you where it is. So Glass Onion's up there, but I think Glass Onion gets in. I do. I think that it's gonna get in as the only Netflix film that has a shot at Best Picture, or at least a nomination. It's not gonna win, but Glass Onion is doing killer numbers right now on Netflix. It is doing. It's the number one film, and it's right now over Christmas. It's just slain because there's nothing else to watch, and people clearly aren't going to movie theaters. They're at home watching Glass Onion. So look for that to come up. Okay, let's go to some comments here, and then we'll go into more topics here on this Christmas night. Thank you again for joining me. I'm going to go over my top 3 Christmas films. I'm going to go through like 20 Christmas films. 3 non-obvious Christmas faves from Mr. Eric Weber here. By the way, I want to point out one thing that's gonna this sooner or later they're gonna come for me on Twitter. I love this. I decided this is, but it's the truth, guys. It's the truth. So I figured I'd add it to the Twitter bio. The first thing on the Twitter bio is now the world's foremost film evaluator trademark. Because at the end of the day, you can give me a thumbs up if you want here. At the end of the day, there is no other film critic or film evaluator in the space who has the track record that I do going back over a decade. If you look at my track record overall, it is stronger than I would put myself up against anybody. But of course, I'm biased, but I think you guys know as well that I rarely miss because I'm objective and I do not have an agenda. Those two things are crucial to do what I do. And most people have one of those two things off. They're either not objective or they have an agenda, which usually run hand in hand. But those two things will kill you every single time. Because if you have an agenda, which would be right here to Babylon, right? So Babylon, the agenda would be, oh, well, but Damien Chazelle is a great director, so it has to be good. There's your problem. No, it doesn't. It does not have to be good. The film has to be good, period. Paramount, when they greenlit Babylon, it's not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns. They did burn it all down for Damien Chazelle. $80 million. This film is going to lose them a ton of cash. Not as much as Amsterdam lost 20th Century / Disney, but this is not going to be, this is going to be a big-time loser for Paramount. And again, what a terrible way to end the year for them. We called this, though. I told you guys way back in November when I came out of that theater on the 14th, and we did a live stream, the Paramount said, hey, Eric, you got to take that down. You are savaging the movie. And we said there's an embargo. You cannot do that. You know why? You know why they told me to take the stream down? Because they knew that I was right. They are aware Babylon is a dumpster fire of a film. And when a studio knows that, they're not going to tell you. They can't say that out. They can't come out and admit that Babylon is terrible, right? They can't do that. But they know it. And they're just going to be like, let's just keep a lid on this. And notice how they kept the reviews up until the last minute. They knew it was terrible. They knew that we were going to end up exactly where we are. Look at this again. Babylon with a 54% rating from audiences. The 56 from critics, but 54 from audiences. So bad. All of you that are defending this film, it's over. It's over. I need to get that cut, the audio, and just hit the button every time. It's over. Margot Robbie's a movie star, but definitely not a draw. Very few people are nowadays. She'll bounce back with Barbie. Might be due to the brand more than Margot. I just don't think there are a lot of movie stars now. They don't move the needle like they did when I was, younger, right? Look at the 80s and 90s. Just use that as an example. You go back to Schwarzenegger, to Bruce Willis, to Stallone. All those stars, those 3 huge stars back in the 80s and 90s, aside from Hudson Hawk, they had a few misfires and some bombs. But in general, Cobra for Stallone. God, I love Cobra. Cobra's so good. But in general, they were stars, right? So Tom Cruise, they were movie stars. Cocktail, he sold tickets just on the marquee Tom Cruise. Now you can't do that. The world is atomized, right? There's too many things going on. Even right now, the fact that we have anyone watching this stream is a miracle. Thank you guys on this Christmas, by the way. But it's just, there's too many options. So it's hard to cut through the clutter. To cut through the clutter, you got to be great, right? And for a film, you've got to be very, very good. And Babylon's not. So of course it's not. But Margot Robbie, I like her as an actress. Going back to I, Tonya, when I first saw her, She's beautiful in person, like stunning, like you'd expect, but even more so. Sometimes in person, they don't quite align with what you expect. And then there's others like, as you guys know, Elizabeth Olsen, Margot Robbie. You see them in person, you go, oh, okay, wow, there we go. There's a movie star. But the times have changed. Margot Robbie is not going to sell tickets based on her name. So if Paramount thought that that was going to happen here with Babylon, with Chazelle and Pitt and Margot Robbie, that whole combination, those three alone would sell tickets. It didn't happen. Those days are over. This is not 1989. Okay. So that going forward, you have to have a strong film, number one, which Babylon already fails at, right? Miserably. So at that point, you're in trouble. Doesn't matter who's in your film. If you have a strong film, Maverick, you don't need to worry about much else because the film speaks for itself. I mean, Maverick, think how many people went to see Maverick and ran out to tell people, you got to see Maverick, right? Including me. When I came out of that Monday screening, way back before it even opened, I go, this movie is going to be massive. This is going to be one of the biggest films of the year. And even I didn't think it would do what it did. At one point, I think it's 8 billion worldwide. But you know it when you see it. And when I walked out of Babylon, I said, this film is dead. It's a dead film, right? And The Whale. The Whale this weekend opened at 600 more screens. What was the number on The Whale? The Whale bombed too. I mean, if you look at the number, hold on, let's look at The Whale. I kind of missed The Whale. I don't know how. I was waiting for this thing because everyone was like, just wait till it opens wide. The Whale's going to do really well. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. Here it is, The Whale. So here's The Whale. It opened at 332,000. That is from, hold on, that was from 6. Hold on. So the count's right here. Give me a second. Where's the weekend? So here's The Whale. The Whale is at, for the weekend, that's the wrong thing. Give me a second. Come on, tabs. Work with me, baby. Okay, here we go. So here it is. So the weekend was 1.3 million for The Whale. And the screen count was 603, 2,000 per screen. That's not good. Oh, actually, that includes the 4-day. The 3-day, the screen was 15. Look at that, 1527. That's marginally better than Babylon, but it's not much. It's 500 more per screen. That's not good. So The Whale did not do. You guys don't understand. You guys think that everything that happens on film Twitter equates to real life. It doesn't work like that. We see it over and over and over. Look how many people were talking about Babylon, and look, it bombed. The Whale. Oh, Brendan Fraser. Everyone's excited to see. No, they're not. No, they're not. 1,500 per screen. Nobody cares about The Whale. And The Whale's terrible too. That doesn't help. The Whale is actually worse than Babylon. I know that's after all I've said about Babylon. The Whale's worse. The Whale's supposed to soar and makes you snore. It's not even just that, Wasim. It is one of the worst. It is for me, when we count down the worst films of the year, and we're going to do that this week, I'm going to let you in on the secret. I can't hide this. The number one worst film of the year for me was The Whale. I rarely, in fact, I think the last time I walked out of a film was that Jenny Slate abortion film that was an A24 film from like, it really was an abortion film. It wasn't like an abortion of a film. Please don't, this is, okay. I would not say that. But remember that? It was like Problem Child or some other child or some child. I walked out. I was not in the mood for that movie, and I did not talk about it other than to say I walked out of the film. I'm not in the mood. When I watched The Whale, I was over at the London in West Hollywood with all the stars who were going to be there afterwards, and I go, I want to leave. I don't want to watch the end of this. This is as artificial as I have ever come across, certainly this year or any recent year. It is one of the worst screenplays of the year. And Obvious Child, thank you. I knew it was some child. Yeah, I walked out of Obvious Child. That's the last time. What was that, 2013? That was right when A24 was up and going. And they actually, after I hammered the film on Twitter, they followed me. A24 to this day still follows me, probably because I said the movie was bad. I walked out of it. And they go, you're right, it isn't good. We knew it wasn't good, but we just said we put it out there. The studios know. The studios know the film's bad. And Paramount knows that Babylon's bad. I guarantee there are many people at Universal that know The Fabelmans is not nearly the film that you've all been told it is. And certainly The Whale, A24, is aware that it's only a Brendan Fraser play. Because look, it's not getting any kind of love as a picture or screenplay. Because again, you know it when you see it. My track record is very difficult. In fact, no one can beat my track record. Truth bomb. It's the truth, because I'm objective and I don't have an agenda. Everyone else does, or frankly, like Simon says, I said I'd like to be the Simon of the film Twitter, film critic, American Idol, because I have no problem telling you exactly what it is. There's a lot of people out there who, let's just listen. Here's Simon from American Idol as the judge on the Film Critic Show. Someone comes up, they start talking about a film, and you go, okay, I'm going to stop you there. Clearly, you don't have the talent to do this. And then, oh, whoa, he's being mean. How many times has Simon been told he's mean? Doesn't matter. Is Simon right? Yeah. So that's the point. You can be mean, but honest. It's not personal, right? I didn't say you're bad because you are ugly. You're bad because you whatever. No, I'm saying you're bad because you don't have the talent. That's different. And there's a lot of people out there that just don't have the talent. Like saying that Babylon's a great film is like instant, like no. Like that's a red flag. It's over. It is over for you. All right, football kit time. Let's do it real quick, and then we'll get into the rest of the night. Let's see. Hold on, let me pull it up. This is I just got this literally for Christmas. It's Atletico St. Louis, and it is Liga MX. And what I love about the Liga MX, so guys, this is the Mexican league. There's literally sponsors all across this thing. This is my kind of kit when you have this many sponsors on it. And also, it is red and green. So what else would I choose to wear tonight? So there it is from Liga MX. All right, back to the comments here, and then we'll get into some Avatar. I'm kind of like, I have it as so here it is. So here's my other thing. Can Avatar 2 keep going? A part of me doesn't even want to talk about Avatar. I mean, I kind of am just over it because I've done so many streams discussing this film, now at 800 million plus worldwide. But at this pace, it's not getting to 2 million. I mean, there's not much more to say. I don't even think you're really that interested, because at this point, it's not getting to 2 million. It's going to end up at about 1.5, 1.6, maybe 1.7. And it's not getting to 2. Even with China. China's over 100 right now, but it's just China needs to be at 250 right now for it to get to 2 billion. And even the States is behind, right? The drop was like 58% this weekend. So I do not think it can get to 2 billion. And also, people, I'm telling you, the interest level for Avatar 2 is not very high. I mean, I was just down at the beach today. You guys might have seen, I was out, I play volleyball. I was down there playing with my boys, and multiple friends said, hey, what film do you recommend? And I said, Avatar. I said, the best movie out right now is The Menu. I said, go see The Menu, because it's the best film out in theaters right now. But when I said Avatar, they were like, I heard it was long. It's the first thing I said. These are just regular people. I heard it was long. And yeah, it's 3 hours and 12 minutes ago. I'm not sitting through that. It's the first thing. I'm not sitting through that. That's the problem Avatar 2 has. The word of mouth beyond film Twitter with regular folks like my boys down at the beach. They're like, I don't want to sit through that movie. And that's going to be the issue for this film getting to 2 billion. It just doesn't have that word of mouth that Maverick did, where everybody was telling their friends, you got to see Maverick. Oh my God, Maverick. And there was the rewatchability factor. I mean, a lot of people saw Maverick more than once. I saw it 3 times. Most people, I think my friend Simone watched it like 5 or something like that in theaters. Can you imagine sitting through Avatar 2 5 times? That's 15 hours. No. 16 hours worth of Avatar. 16 hours of Avatar? I mean, I know that Cameron wanted to have that cut, the 16-hour cut, but he mercifully gave us the 3 hour and 12 minute that's still an hour too long. And he's the other reason this is not going to get to 2 billion, because he didn't give audiences a rewatchability factor because of that length, because these studios are not telling the directors to cut your damn movie down. No, it's Christmas. Okay, settle. It's Christmas. Christmas spirit, everybody. Let's go. Avatar ends at 1.5 to 1.7. So I just had Wasim right. No way home opening to crack 2 billion, and it didn't. No, it's not going to get there. Even though it has China, it's not getting there. Good, Patrick. I love when you come in here and give us some knowledge. China is fool's gold. They keep 75%. After marketing, do you even make a profit? They are propping up the overseas numbers to make up for this underperformance domestically. And when you read the emails, I get all the emails from Disney box office. They never talk. It's the second thing they talk about. Every email says, worldwide, look at Avatar. Oh, by the way, domestically. because it's underperforming. The stock price tells you that. I told you it did opening weekend, and everyone's like, oh, Weber doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. Don't know. I do. And I was right again because it's underperforming. So they're going to oversell the China. They're going to oversell the France, the England, all the other countries so that they can prop those numbers up. But you're right. Patrick's right. They don't get nearly the cash out of that, but it looks better for investors and all this instead of, oh, by the way, it's losing this much money, because it will. Avatar is going to end up losing them money. Way of Water. That's really bad for them going forward with 3 and 4 already done, right? I mean, if 2 is going down, not like they expected, like it's literally going down, then that's really bad when you already have a 3 and 4 ready. That's the real problem here, is that the interest level for 3 and 4 is going to be even lower than 2, and they need it to be higher, and it's going down, right? So, this weird way, I feel like one of the skills that you need to really tap into and really hone in on is the ability to sense, almost like a spidey sense, when something is going well and when something is not going well. I mean, even plenty of shows I've done here. First of all, most of them don't go well. But the ones that go well, I'm like, oh, this is good. The ones that aren't, I'm like, okay, this isn't so great. Tap into that, and you can kind of read the feeling in the air, right? The zeitgeist. And I'll tell you that Avatar Way of Water does not have the buzz that Maverick did, doesn't have the buzz that a lot of films that you see have massive success do. You know what it has going for it? There's nothing else to see. That's what Avatar The Way of Water has more than anything. It has this, oh, well, what else are you going to see? You going to see Babylon? No. You going to go see the new Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance With? No. Look at that. Didn't do well. You see The Whale? No. I mean, what else is there? There's Puss in Boots, which even that's underperforming because the audiences know that Universal is going to put Puss in Boots on Peacock. I almost said Universal Plus because everything's plus this. MGM Plus is coming up soon. But yeah, they're going to give it to you in 17 days. So why would you even bother? You can't offer stuff for free in 17 days and expect people to go pay for it now. I mean, it's just basic, right? It's basic stuff. Why would you, if someone said whatever you want, by the way, it's going to come to you for free in 17 days, you would, no, I want to run out and buy it now. No, you're going to wait for the price to go down. Some of my friends saw Maverick 3 times in one weekend. No one has seen Avatar The Way of Water 3 times in one weekend, let alone 3 times, period. We need a movie like The Social Network 2. Oh, Rick, don't even get me started on that. I mean, you talk about a perfect film, that's one. There's very few. And The Social Network, everything about that film is perfect. The only thing I have that's a criticism, just slight, is Justin Timberlake. Just slightly, but it's not nearly like enough to not call it a perfect film. That's a masterpiece. There's no question about it. A couple more comments, then we'll get into the Christmas stuff, because I do want to do at least my top 3 unobvious Christmas movies. Avatar is part of the theme park IP, might justify itself. Park tickets are the Disney motherlode. But based on the ticket sales and the interest level, do people really give a crap about going to Pandora Land or whatever they're going to call it versus Star Wars, right? Versus Avengers Campus? No, come on, man. Avatar is just not that. Avatar is not Star Wars. Avatar is not Marvel. It never will be, ever. No one gives a crap about the characters in Avatar. Nobody bought the figures for Avatar. Like, you want to see how a film is registering, especially with younger folks? Go look at Lego sales. There's millions of Avatar sets on, like, literally, I was at the Target down the street before Christmas, and they have all the Legos, right? And Legos sell really well. They still do. It's one of the biggest Christmas gifts for kids. But you had all the stuff was sold out, and then you go to Avatar, like, there's all these Avatar things. I'm like, well, there you go. This is what I'm talking about. There's no the Avatar stuff's all there. It's stocked. If this film was catching fire and everyone was talking about it, the Avatar stuff would be gone. The kids don't give a crap about this movie. Hell, if there were Maverick Legos, they'd be selling 3 to 1 over Avatar. They're not even comparable. And Disney knows this film's in trouble. I know it's at 800 million worldwide, but I'm telling you guys, that's not that impressive considering where we thought it was going to be. This is not a $200 million movie, worldwide right now. I'm not suggesting it's a bomb, but it's going to end up losing money for Disney. There's no question about it. None. I agree. Timberlake was miscast. Norm, good job. Welcome to the channel, by the way. You earned a gold star for that. I agree. He wasn't the right guy. What was Timberlake was perfect. No, I mean this is what I love. I love takes that are like definitely going to be polarizing. The problem when you cast somebody who is known for something outside of acting, or frankly anything, when it comes to that kind of situation where you have somebody that's going to be in your film, you don't want someone to instantly see Justin Timberlake. Oh, that's Justin Timberlake. That's the problem when you cast somebody that famous for being a rock star or a pop music star, not a rock star. But that's the issue. And it's the same thing when I go back to, okay, it's similar, not quite the same, but similar. When you go back and you look at Gone Girl, which again, when Fincher has this thing, so he gets what's his name, Paul, I always say Doogie Howser, but I'm sorry, but see, do you see the problem with that? Right off the bat, I'm like, Doogie Howser, give me a like, tell me I'm 100%, I know I'm right here, so go for it. Wrong. That was really bad casting in Gone Girl. It takes you right out of that film. When you see him show up on the screen, you go, oh, what? Like, that's not the right guy. I mean, because I think he's a great actor. I mean, I think he's really strong, but it's not the right cast. It's miscast, just like Justin Timberlake. The thing about Justin Timberlake, though, is that I understand he's playing Sean Parker, who's like a rock star, so I get that. But when you go back to Gone Girl, I just go, no, that just did not work. Did not work. And I think Fincher gets maybe enamored with, hey, this guy is famous from something. But that was a mistake. But it didn't ruin the movie. I mean, my God, it didn't at all. Not even close. I mean, it's almost a perfect film. All right, let's go to my top. First of all, I'm going to get these for you, and then we'll go back to comments. Go whatever you want to do here. Your top Christmas movies. Give me your top 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give you mine. It's not going to take long. We're not going to sit here and talk about Christmas movies for like 30 minutes. We're going to talk, since it is Christmas, I think it's fair that we do at least my top 3 unobvious Christmas films. Now, some of these I know you're going to say they're kind of obvious, but they're not true Christmas movies. Obviously, you know where I'm going to go with number 1. Okay. But let's start with number 3. And this is recent, and I can't believe I'm listing this, but there's something about Emilia Clarke in Last Christmas that makes me adore the film. First of all, she's like super cute. Okay. But beyond that, there's something just weird with Paul Feig's Last Christmas. If you haven't seen it, please do. There's a twist that happens in that film that when I first watched the press screen, like a Tuesday before it opened, if I had a box of popcorn, I would have thrown it at the screen when the twist hits for Last Christmas. But when I think back to that moment of films that I love from 2019 in its weird way, it's Last Christmas. And I will fully admit, massive George Michael fan. I mean, as a kid from the 80s, you got to understand the Faith album was, I mean, everybody wanted to be George Michael in what is that, 1988, 87, 88. That 87, 88, 89, that run there for George Michael, once he got out of Wham, that was Faith, was like the biggest album of my high schoolish years. So when you look at that film, Paul uses all of George Michael's songs so perfectly. And if you haven't watched Last Christmas, for Emilia Clarke alone, and also George Michael songs, you need to watch Last Christmas. Okay, number 2. This is, like an obvious, like, I mean, it has to be Die Hard, right? I mean, yes, a Christmas movie. I mean, there's still times that I drive down past Century City, right near Fox, and I look, and there it is. There's the building from Die Hard. What is the Takamichi Plaza? I literally have not watched it in so many years, but it's there. It is right here in LA. As you guys know, it takes place here. Christmas movie. Bruce Willis, movie star. I mean, my God, Die Hard, a film that I saw in theaters at least 4 times. Talk about rewatchability. Die Hard. Number 2. And number 1 goes back to a film that I remember asking my mom. I said, Mom, can you please take me to opening night of this film? I really want to see it. And I love Spielberg, even though it's not Spielberg, but he's tangentially obviously connected to it. And I said, please, and I really need to get the action figures for Gremlins. I was there opening night at the Westerville 6 in Columbus, Ohio, which no longer exists, the Westerville 6 in the mall. and is my mom and me, and no joke, like 5 other people, because Gremlins did not like open to this massive number back then. And there I was, and I will forever have Gremlins and Gizmo number one all-time Christmas movies. Let's get into yours. Lethal Weapon, I was one I gave strong consideration to as well, no question about it. And Nakatomi, sorry, Joshua, thank you. I knew it was, it was like Nakatomi. I knew it was in there somewhere. There was something in there. Wolf of Wall Street. This isn't Christmas, but I love Wolf of Wall Street. My God, it has some Christmas stuff in it, doesn't it? I mean, talk about a perfect 3-hour movie. Wolf of Wall Street, unbelievable. Yeah, Lethal Weapon kicks ass. Gremlins is unbelievable. White Christmas, classic. I mean, it's obvious. That's fine. It's totally fine. You can have that. Just Friends. I don't think I ever saw Just Friends. I know it's people talk about that. Ken Murray, not obvious Christmas movies. Anna and the Apocalypse, could call. Reindeer Games, yes. Just Friends. I need to watch Just Friends. I don't think I ever saw it. But these are what I'm saying. If we're going to do this, let's do unobvious things. Elf is kind of obvious, Josh. But yes, my kids love Elf. And then we have Violent Night. Yep, recent. Sure, I know you just saw it and you loved it. I mean, it's going to be a cult classic, right? Scrooged, for sure. No question. It's a Wonderful Life. Yes. Jingle All the Way. Cool with their look. Oh, my God. I think Siskel and Ebert had Jingle All the Way as one of their worst films. I think Siskel did. One of his worst films of the year. And he's just like, this is just horrible. And it was with Schwarzenegger and Sinbad, right? Isn't that the one where they had to find the toy? Yeah, Home Alone. I mean, that's an obvious norm. No question. If I was going obvious, I would put Home Alone on there for sure. You know what the worst Christmas movie of all time is? I should have. Worst of all time. You guys know me. Please, someone in the comments right now before I say it. What's the worst tangentially Christmas movie of all time? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What is the worst tangentially Christmas movie of all time? There is no reason for this film to take place at Christmas. It came out in like May or June, middle of summer. And this director has this thing about putting his movies at Christmas time for no reason whatsoever. You guys know I think it's one of the worst MCU movies of all time. Ian, coming in, Iron Man 3. Oh my God. You talk about a film. The worst Christmas set film ever is Iron Man 3 because of what they do when they neuter the Mandarin. Screw everything else. I hate the film. When the Mandarin gets his cock cut off, it's over. You know, figuratively. Because if it was literally, then we wouldn't be talking about an MCU movie, would we? You feel me? But it's so bad. Iron Man 3 is the worst Christmas movies of all time. Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, that's definitely unobvious. These are the things that interest me, right? Unobvious things. Alan Ing in the house. It was great being on the stream the other day with you, by the way, sir. Merry Christmas, a bit obvious, but Muppets Christmas Carol. Nothing wrong with that. I'd rather eat the ass out of a dead Ryan. And it's so terrible. Don't ever come in here and defend Iron Man 3. I will block you from the comments so fast, guys. You don't even know. The Green Knight. Oh, what a snooze fest. By the way, it's over my shoulder. You see it? Right over my ear. Straight up. There's the Green Knight. Even though I think Green Knight is incredibly dull, I love David Lowery. And the FYC box is straight fire. You guys see it there, right? So that's why it stays up there. And now the wall, I think we're good. The wall, by the way, let me just take a quick time out here. The wall looks great. I think we really have this wall. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. And Alan, I know you saw me on the thing. I don't know. I think that we have here at MMT, we have the number one movie site on YouTube background. Nobody can touch this. So if anyone ever tries to do this, you know where you saw it first. Copycats. No one thought this is just what I'm talking about. And now we match the lighting with the kit and it's all comes together. Like, look at the green is flowing with the Green Knight. You guys see The Nightmare Before Christmas. Very good. Give me a thumbs up for the best background on all of YouTube when it comes to movies. No one's even close. Like Grace Randolph. I mean, her with her, look, I can see out my skyscraper in New York. Boring. You're boring, Grace. You put me to sleep. I don't know why you guys watch Grace Randolph, but God bless you if you do. I do win the background war. Thank you. I beat Grace. I beat Campea. Any of those, they've been around longer. They might have more people. I don't give a crap. You guys, honestly, I've said it before. You're the smartest audience out there. You would wipe the floor with any of their audiences. Not even close. You have to have, you be on the ball to be here on MMT. And you guys are. I mean, like Patrick and Josh, Ken, my boy from Boston. And we got Alan Ing. I mean, who else? I'd take this audience against anybody. We would slaughter them. It wouldn't even be a contest. Finally saw Pearl, kitchen table monologue, right, Drew? I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's just do it right now. Let's get right into open comment time here on this Christmas night. We're about 10 minutes for the hour, but I might go a little longer. It's Christmas spirit. I do want to do a physique critique in a minute. And we're going to do somebody that I think we've done before, but I really want to. This is one of my favorites of all time. So if you've never watched the physique critique, we're going to do this with Gerard Butler momentarily. Let's get a few more comments and we'll go back to that. What big releases coming up in January? It's Megan. I mean, what else is there? There's Megan, and then we have Ant-Man in February. That's the other thing that Avatar 2 has going for it. There's nothing else to see. Just like now, it's not going to change. Megan's going to outperform because nothing else is in theaters. Unless they say, hey, by the way, Universal's like, we're going to put Megan on Peacock in 17 days. Like, why didn't it do as well? Because you put it on Peacock. Joshua, Pearl deserves awards. Listen, Sunset Circle, we gave Mia Goth a Best Actress nomination, and I think that's the best it really gets for that film. For me, over my shoulder, X. X is a stronger film than Pearl from a directorial standpoint, but the 1-2 punch, when you look at X and then you go to Pearl in 1 year, Ty West, I mean, it may be one of the best 1-2 punches that you've ever seen, because it's very rare we have a director put out 2 films in 1 year, and he did it, and they're very different films, right? Even though they're obviously connected. And I can't wait for, is it Maxine? Is that the third one? You don't even know. Set in the 80s, Ty West directing. That thing is going to be unbelievable. You talk about a film that I can't wait. Like, I want to go watch them shoot the film, which if they're here in LA, if you guys know, if anybody knows someone like Ty West, ask him if I can just hang out on the set. I'll stand back. I'll be totally out of the way. I'm not going to bug Mia. I'm not going to bug anybody there. I just want to be in the back and just watch the film get shot, so that when I watch, I was there when they did that. I said, if I could ever go back in time and be on a set, first of all, Social Network for sure. But the other one for me, a film that will always be right in my heart, in my soul, and I know this is going to sound a little weird because you're like, that's not obvious. It's Drive. Because Drive it's the number one reason that I returned to LA. I was in Boston at the time, watching it with Ken Murray on the stream here. We were all in the critic screening of Drive, and I went, oh my God, I miss LA. Because I lived in LA before I was in Boston. And I need to go back to LA. So when I watch Drive, it captures the spirit of Los Angeles and the grittiness of this town so just amazingly well. When you look at what Refn did with that film, I just go, oh my God. So if I could go back and be on a set of Drive, Social Network, and I want to go watch, I think it's Maxine, right? I think it's Maxine. Vault of the Future, thank you for the super chat here on this Christmas. Really appreciate it. Just saw Soul again. My all-time favorite Pixar film. First of all, I love the fact that you brought this as your super chat. I could talk about Soul all day and all night. I mean, when you look at Pixar films of the past decade or more, let's just say all time, Soul is easily in the top 5. I mean, Soul has a spirituality to it that few films do, period, let alone animated films. I mean, you go back and you put Soul and you couple that with Inside Out. And the spiritual nature of that film, whatever you believe in, God, whatever it is you believe in, there's definitely a higher power, right? Soul taps into that. And there's just the beautiful conclusion to that film. I mean, it's just it. I was crying here because that was during COVID. They sent me the link, and I'm here on watching it here at home, and I'm just like, I'm bawling right now because it wraps perfectly, and then you roll into that song from Reznor Ross. I need to listen to that. I don't care if we're going to do it. It might be a copy. I'm not going to do it long because it's 2 seconds. I just want you guys, if you haven't heard that song, give me a second. It's the finishing song for the Soul soundtrack. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find that song. I got to listen to it. I got to listen to it for a minute because literally because of this super chat, I'm like, I got to sit this. Okay, here we go. Soul soundtrack. It's the last song that film. Give me a second. What's it called? About something time. Hold on. Where is it? Just Us. Here it is. Ready? Here it goes. Give me a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me just make sure you guys can hear this thing. Tell me if you can hear it. So good. It's just beautiful. Here it is. No one is better than Reznor Ross. No, Reznor Ross, best composer. So if you've seen Soul, I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. And I said, I'm just. This is what the magic of movies. When you sit there watching Soul and you get this as the credits are rolling, I am a mess. I'm watching this thing and I'm literally like can't even function. It's just beautiful. Listen, Reznor Ross, when you look at, I don't want to get strikes, I'm going to pull it off, but there's a 1 hour version of that. I I can't even tell you how I was moved by that film and then that finishing piece. And the fact that Reznor Ross got screwed. Okay, Reznor Ross got completely screwed this year by the short list, not even like nominations, the short list. You're going to tell me, I've seen every film this year. You guys know every single film that had any shot at Oscars attention or awards attention I've seen. And when I watch Empire of Light, a film that is getting the shaft, Empire of Light is definitely not a great film. The screenplay is a major problem. But the score, just start with the score. The Reznor Ross score for Empire of Light is better than anything that was composed this year. And the fact that it didn't make a short list makes me doubt everything that the Academy does. At that point, I want to go down to the Academy, drive down there to their offices, walk in and say, you need somebody who is in control here that knows what they're doing. And I'm here. Let's do this because we need to have accountability when you leave off something like the Empire of Light score by Reznor Ross and then Bones and All. You got both of those. 1, 2. They're the best going. There's not even a question about it. Melanie, oh my gosh. Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I mean, on this Christmas and just being here. You guys, listen, appreciate you. Keep up the good, honest work and honest reviews. Thank you. And that's what we do. That's what I'm going to do and continue to do. And I think you guys know from watching the channel here now for 9 months ish, we and I will never change or change course from just being a straight shooter. And I think that's what I bring to the table, and that's never going to change. And it's funny. There's a lot of people that you guys know I go to the gym, I do that stuff. And someone said today, hey, you should spread. What do you do, and how do you go about that? What's the mentality, and what are the things that you physically do to do keep yourself in that condition? These are the things too that I want to expand on. It's really not just about movies here. It's about cutting through bullshit. Ultimately, here on MMT is because you guys know that whenever I say something, it's absolutely coming from the soul. It's not coming from like some BS of what you think I'm supposed to say or what I think. It's always coming directly from literally here inside, wherever that is, into you. And that's what we're doing here. So I appreciate the fact that you guys like that. I do, because I think that's what we do. And thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Melanie's awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Well, you're all awesome. No one's more awesome, but Melanie's extra awesome. You know what I'll do? Melanie, for that, I'm going to literally go out and get a new kit for you. Tell me what kit you want me to get and I'll go get it. I'm not even kidding. Whatever kit, you name the kit, I'll go buy it with that. That's what I will do. I will literally turn that and flip it into something you'll see here on MMT. That was so awesome. Thank you so much. A Flick Story Entertainment. Watched After Sun, liked it, but didn't love it. It was slow in spots. Didn't like the lesbian scene. Okay, well, I mean, listen, that is, I mean, there's going to be that, and I understand if that doesn't jive with maybe your beliefs, but when you just break apart After Sun, which by the way is over my shoulder, you guys can see the boom arms kind of blocking it right there. When you break down After Sun and what Charlotte Wells did, and this is the magic again, just like the song at the end, Just Us of Soul, the magic of film, when you tap into the spiritual nature of humanity, the way that Charlotte Wells does in After Sun, regardless of some of the things you might have issue with, the way that film wraps around from the vacation, right, to her being older and the memories, there is something spiritually elevating about that you rarely tap into. And when I watched After Sun, I was crying both times I've seen it in theaters. But it hit me like a freight train. The sad nature of, okay, I don't want to ruin the movie, but the sad nature that Paul Mescal is very likely no longer okay. And that's what just nails you, because it's like, think about this. Whoever's in your life that you hold precious and dear to your heart, um, if that person were to no longer be there, imagine all the memories that come flooding back. And I think that's what After Sun directly taps into. And Charlotte Wells, for doing that, is one of the best directors of the year. And I understand the issues. I get it. People think it might be slow, but if you have a relationship, if you have a child, the relationship in that movie, oh my God, it will just destroy you. It destroyed me both times, like a pile of mush. After Sun's my favorite movie this year, Kyle. I agree. But it's definitely not perfect, just very moving. When I have my best films of the year, and we'll do that probably going to go Tuesday and Thursday this week, because I want to do a best of and a worst of. I don't care if people say the worst of is mean. The worst, you're not being nice. It takes a lot of work to make. No, I don't care. When there's movies like Babylon that wasted 3 hours of my time, other than those two scenes, then I want to put it on the worst of the year. The Whale, hell yeah. Amsterdam, please. And also, Fablemans is on that. I mean, these are not like the obvious 10 worst films. Like, I could put Firestarter on that, but I saw Firestarter 5 times in theaters because there was nothing else, and it made me laugh my ass off every time that Zac Efron told his daughter to put the cat out of its misery. As it is literally like scorched, and she hits it with the death zap, the death flame, and the cat's like, so good. I can't put Firestarter on the worst of the year, but I can put Babylon. I can put The Whale. That'll be a fun stream. I'm going to just annihilate films on that. I mean, it has a religious ending, but no emotion. Yes, there's zero emotion. The ending is so bad too, right? The CGI of like, oh, there we go. Like, what the hell? I can't even believe that Darren watched that play and said, oh, I can't wait to make this into a movie. Darren, I think you should direct movies and not write them. Going forward, let's just have Darren artistically direct a film and just get, I mean, The Wrestler I really like, but this is not The Wrestler. This is not Black Swan. This isn't even, Mother. This is a whole nother level of terrible. The Cat and Firestarter death. 100. Melanie, you tell me. We can put it in a vote. What kid? I mean, whatever you guys gotta understand though, I have literally like 100 kits now. I have almost every team. I have now gotten into, I have Wrexham, okay, which I had before the show. I have tiny teams like Hartlepool United. I mean, we're talking like the National League, which is one of the smaller divisions over in England. I have Liga MX. I have so many random jerseys. The more random, the better. The stranger the squad, the more I'm into it. It's kind of like my movies. I'd rather talk about After Sun than Avatar 2. But you guys know that. That's why it's niche. MMT will forever be niche, but you'll be smarter for it. You'll be smarter for it. All right, let's go another 15, and then we're going to wrap it here on Christmas. I want to get to bed. I'm tired. I was at the beach all day. You guys were like, you're at the beach. It's like 0 degrees where I am. Listen, I know it's kind of like dicky of me to say this, but it was like 72 and perfectly sunny down at the beach today, and I played volleyball for like 5 hours, so I'm physically just thrashed. But I know it's like, oh, first world problems. It was just perfect. And I had to go enjoy the weather. That's one of the things we get here in LA is really great weather, even on Christmas, which is weird because it should feel like Christmas and it doesn't. It feels like a regular Sunday. And but I do understand the importance of Christmas. I went to church last night for the one time of the year I go. I'm not gonna lie, I go once a year now. But this is funny, you guys ready? This is an interesting story. So last night I go to church down the street, and it's the Vietnamese mass, and I don't speak Vietnamese. So but what I like about it, I've gone multiple years now to the Vietnamese mass on Christmas Eve, is because I don't understand what they're saying at all. I can just kind of be in a zone of the end of Soul. with just us, just like literally just zoning into a spirituality of the situation. So yes, I went to the Vietnamese mass for last night. Just did Eric have a Top Gun mask? I kind of did. We don't wear jeans or jean shorts, but I probably would. Oh wait, I have a Norwich City. Hold on, I do have Norwich City, and also St. Louis has a team now. St. Louis has brand new MLS team. I kind of like it. I think it says Purina on the top. Hold on. Do I have any more? Wait. We got to do the physique critique. We got to do this because if I know we might have done Gerard Butler again or before, but I do want to do it again because I think when you look at Gerard Butler in 300, you're looking at one of the best physiques ever. Now this, I think it's perfect, right? I think it's a perfect physique. Now, this has a little bit of CG going on, but not a lot. I mean, it's a little bit airbrushed. Let's go down to the real thing. Okay, there he is from the movie. He's got an 8-pack going. Looks really good. Let's see. There he is working out. Let's see. Is there another picture? I think there's another one here. There he is. Okay, so he's doing the rings. The rings are really good. That's a good picture. So you can see. You know what he has? He has a very good chest. We talk about that. Gerard Butler has a really good chest in 300. But look here. I was looking at this earlier when I was like, let's do Gerard Butler again. Look at what he says. He says that the 300 look was ruining his body. I'm like, what? Dude, stop. He was training 6 hours a day. I can tell you right now, guys, honestly, please listen to me. And you got to understand from doing this for a long time, from going to the gym, you do not need to work out 6 hours a day to look like that. Now, you need to work out and you need to do the right things and eat the right food. But at the end of the day, you do not. Okay, this is a really, hold on. No, I don't want to sign up for your thing. Get out of here. Okay, so look, that is a really good look. So at what he has really good chest definition, and he also has good buys. Everything looks really strong. He looks just really masculine. It's a good look. It's attainable. You do not need to work out 6 hours to get like that. I can tell you right now. You just don't. But, CrossFit, first of all, CrossFit is not good for you. Okay, I don't do CrossFit because CrossFit will jack your joints up. You're going to be like, my God. So yeah, don't do CrossFit. Just do, at some point, I'm going to post a video of what you need to do and the kind of the foods. You can kind of take it that way because I'm telling you, you can do it. You can do it. But it's Gerard Butler's like, 6 hours a day I worked out. I'm like, no, you didn't. Dude, you don't need to work out 6 hours a day like that. You need to work out, but not that much. Listening to Under Pressure will always make me sad. Oh my God, isn't that true? I mean, when you look at the music usage by Charlotte Wells in that film, the 90s songs, because obviously it takes place in the 90s, right? Because it's a flashback. And but the things about After Sun that I saw the second time that I didn't see the first time. And for those of you who haven't seen it, please pay attention. When he's looking at the Oriental rugs, right? He's looking at the rugs. Pay attention because it shows up later in the movie. The first time I totally missed it. The second time I go, oh my God, that's how great Charlotte Wells is. That she ties that in. And I don't know how I missed it, but I did. Like, why? And then you see it and you go, oh my God. It's so powerful in the message of longing for someone that is no longer available to you. And that's the magic of the movie. And that's why After Sun's going to easily be in my top 5 of the year. I haven't quite fleshed out the total 10, but you guys know it's Tar and After Sun. These films are way, way, way up there. The Batman's in the top 10, Maverick's in there. It's a really strong list of films. But After Sun is the best small film that I saw. The film that came out of nowhere and just absolutely destroyed my soul is After Sun. And for that, it has to get in the top 5 of the year because you don't have those many experiences like that in the movie theater. For me, another one was Ghost Story, which you guys see. It's still on the wall here somewhere. I think I moved it down. But Ghost Story is another movie that, I mean, just tore me apart at the end. That the ending where he's digging, where he's trying to get out of the crack what it says, and then boom, the movie, and it's the song, that safe song is I listened to that song. I've told you guys this. I know this is going to sound super like dark, but it's true. When we pass on to the next realm, whatever that means, when we pass on, I want my entire life to flash in front of me to the song Safe from A Ghost Story. I'm stating that here. I want my entire life from the beginning of that song. I gotta listen to it for a second. Hold on. I got it. Just for I can't. I don't even care. Listen, just give me a second. I might start crying. You guys don't understand. I'm super emotional when I listen to some of these songs because music is emotion. Here it is. Let's see. Save Daniel Hart. Okay, here it is. You ready? Hold on. Headphones. And then we're almost done here. I might have to stop because I might start crying. But here you go. So this is the song that plays at the end of Ghost Story. Um, okay, here it is. Let me see. Can you guys hear it? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Or it's gonna mind if we. Why is it buffering? Can you guys hear it? Okay. We should do worst on Tuesday and best on Thursday. That way, because then we're in before the year's over, and I'll have a chance to watch a few more films before we get to the best. Because there's at least I want to see The Quiet Girl for sure. I want to see The Quiet Girl because I'm hearing and everyone seems to love that film, so I want to make sure I get that in. The worst film for the year, I'm pretty good. I don't think I need to worry about that. I think I've seen more than enough of that. But I promise Avalon's on that list. I promise. The Warrior, okay. Ken will look at it too. Ken's really good like that. The Doll Man. So, whatever. Nah.